The Oscar nominations are out, and already people are calling snubs and total misses. The one movie in particular that has been stirring some controversy for the lack of nominations is the hit comedy/drama Barbie, with director Greta Gerwig manning the project, alongside huge names like Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Michael Cera, American Ferrera, and others. This was sure to be a massive hit. And it absolutely was. With the Barbenheimer hype on top of really favorable reviews, Barbie grossed huge numbers at the box office and became a super culturally popular hit for people of all ages. Just last week, the Oscar nominations came out, and people were quick to voice their opinion on the matter. Even though the movie was nominated for 8 Oscar categories, people were shedding light on the fact that neither Greta Gerwig or the lead, Margot Robbie, were nominated. Now let's pause for a second. The fact that Barbie, when compared to all the other movies that came out this year, got 8 nominations up there is wild and a huge stretch if you ask me. When we're talking about snubs, Barbie is the last movie we should be talking about. That brings me to the topic of this video, and the fact of the matter that Barbie is not only extremely overrated and overhyped, but as a movie, it's not even close to being Oscar-winning quality. It's definitely not even in the top 10 choices for winning Best Picture, and yet somehow it was nominated for that category. Barbie was nominated for the following categories: costume design, original song, production design, writing as an adapted screenplay, actor in a supporting role going to Ryan Gosling, and actress in a supporting role going to American Ferrera, while rounding off with a Best Picture nomination. Wow. So, I could see Barbie being nominated for a few of these. What the movie did really well was the production design, aesthetic, and overall style. The pink and eccentric design style captured the Barbie vibe so well, and the big beach fight scene at the end is an exploration of color and was extremely memorable in the grand scheme of things. I can't deny that it did this very well, and it should be rewarded or at least nominated for these things, which I imagine it will be. But the problem is when it starts encroaching on the acting categories and big picture nomination. Starting off, we have Ryan Gosling as Best Actor in a Supporting Role performance as Ken. Ryan Gosling acted very well and typically holds it down in many of the movies that he appears in. Barbie is no exception in that. His comedic timing matched with his manly charm makes him a great choice for Ken, and an entertaining role at that. But the question is, does he deserve to be nominated among some of this year's best performers like Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, and Sterling K. Brown? The answer to that is sure he does, but there were so much other better performances this year that should be in that spot. It's undeniable that the side roles of The Iron Claw, Saltburn, and other movies are more worthy and phenomenal. The Iron Claw on its own should have been nominated for several things, which it wasn't, as the actors objectively immersed themselves in the roles, but in relation to Barbie's other nominations, Ryan Gosling did do a commendable job as Ken. The same, however, cannot be said about America Ferrera for her role in Barbie. She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture. This one is a big head scratcher to me. I was pretty bored with the character, and her performance really was mostly whining about the patriarchy and cringy dialogue that was meant to get the audiences to feel and really relate to her as a person from the world we live in.
Always be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong.
But her performance in the movie was pretty forgettable and just really didn't do that much for me. To claim that it was an Oscar-winning performance is absolutely wild, and to even be nominated when there were so many other actresses out there that had stellar roles in 2023, it's just crazy that it goes to this sort of mediocre performance from America Ferrera, playing a really cardboard character. Now, staying in this topic of acting and some of the outrage people had, I will say that Margot Robbie in particular was excellent in the movie as Barbie. It was a really great casting, she has the look for it, and she continues to show why she is a great actress in this day and age. With that being said, even if she was one of the best aspects of Barbie, it still would have been a stretch to have her nominated alongside Gosling when you compare it to other movies this year. Ryan Gosling in particular took to social media to share his disdain for the fact that he was nominated while Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie herself were not. He went on to say, "Against all odds, with nothing but a couple of soulless, scantily clad, and thankfully crotchless dolls, they made us laugh, they broke our hearts, they pushed the culture, and they made history. their work should be recognized along with the other very deserving nominees. Now, I do give Gosling a pat on the back for obviously giving credit to the other nominations, but it's a bit of a stretch and I can't really fault him for wanting them to be nominated. Obviously, he worked very close with these two very talented individuals for a long period of time. Now, as far as it being a gender thing, which some people are actually making it, that's a load of BS, and there's a ton of counterpoints to that, but that's a video for another day. As far as Greta Gerwig goes, the direction of the movie is sharp and her vision took a seemingly random topic and made it something more impactful. I think she did a very solid job on the movie, and overall I think Greta Gerwig is a great director. She has a great vision with her movies, and she really nails the coming of age topic very well. In her other movies like Lady Bird and Little Women, I've always been very captivated by her direction style. But Barbie to me is just not good enough of a movie to justify a director nomination for Gerwig. It's definitely the biggest project she's taken on, and she should be very proud of how it came out. But perhaps the biggest crime is that Barbie took up a spot in the Best Picture category, which, if you don't know, is the highest honor you can get at the Oscars. It pretty much awards the movie of the year, at least according to the Academy of Motion Picture and Sciences. So right off the bat, we have Barbie taking up a place of so many other better movies this year. They need to understand that just because a movie is popular and relevant, depending on who you ask, it does not mean that it's a good Oscar-worthy movie. What exactly makes an Oscar-worthy movie? That's pretty subjective, but to me it's a movie that is technically sharp, includes incredible performances, and leaves a lasting impact on the viewer. Yeah, I know it's pretty vague, and obviously a lot of people are going to say that Barbie did just those things, but to me it's just not quite to that level. In place of Barbie, there's so many other better movies to be fit as a nomination for Best Picture. For me, Godzilla Minus One was absolutely snubbed as one of the nominations. That is one of the best movies of the year in my opinion, and is an absolutely technical marvel from the writing to the graphics to the music and to everything in between. I never expected a Godzilla movie to make me feel a certain way. While it's nominated for Best Achievement in Visual Effects, it deserves a lot more, and it should be in place of Barbie at the very least in the Best Picture category because it honestly deserves it. And with such a small budget under its hand, and the fact that they were able to use that to expert effect, that alone should be putting them up there somewhere. In the same vein, the Iron Claw, Across the Spider-Verse, and Saltburn are all valid entries over Barbie for Best Picture nominations. I'd even put John Wick Chapter 4 up there as one of the best of the year, which on a side note is the best action movie I've seen in the past decade, maybe even ever. And that alone should get it up there. But there are plenty of other movies that are miles ahead of Barbie that came out in 2023, and if it didn't end up being a massive hit with an agenda, I guarantee people wouldn't be talking about it or mentioning it for any Oscar nominations. It would just be another fun comedy movie for the summer. But alas, here we are. It's a huge stretch that it has any nominations, and the fact that people are still making comments about its lack of nominations is pretty wild. But before people jump down my throat, I just want to say that I didn't hate Barbie. It was a fun and overall entertaining ride of a movie with good performances overall, but I thought it was just incredibly overrated and way too preachy at the end. So much so it totally took me out of the movie and ended up just being more annoying than anything else. I could go on and tear this movie apart for its false narratives, but obviously I guess that was the point in the end of it. And I'll also just spare you the details on that. But if you liked the movie and you thought it was fun, more power to you. But with that being said, obviously those are my thoughts about it. I don't think people should be complaining about that or asking for more nominations. The fact that it's up for 8 different things is pretty wild in itself. So I think they should be happy with that alone. Now, as far as what I think it's going to win or what's not going to win, I could definitely see it winning in the music category. But I mean, as far as anything else, it would be kind of a crime if they won any other category. And maybe design as well. That would be another one as well. But that's just my opinion. But let me know below what you thought of Barbie. Do you think it's gonna win anything? Do you think it deserves to be nominated? Do you think Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie should be up there? Let me know below. I'd love to hear it. And if you like this content and want to see more, please be sure to hit that sub button, hit the notification to stay up to date, which is the little bell at the bottom, and make sure to like this video. Thank you very much for all the support, and I'll catch you on the next one.